BWOne here from BWOne, and in this video I want to talk about my 2 weeks using the HTC One M8 as my main device. Now this video is going to go more about talking about my own personal use as sort of a power user. I classify myself as that. I use several different email accounts. I do have a lot of social networks that I follow. that I have to keep connected with. I do some a little bit of gaming with them, more on the casual side of things, and several other different things that I kind of do on my phone on a daily basis. So I consider myself more of a power user. And so that's where the perspective of this is going to come from. If you're looking for more of the standard review, you definitely want to check out our full HTC One M8 review that was done by Kenny on our website. That review we'll have the link below in the description. We might put a quick little box here for it, but definitely check out that review to sort of get our general standard review. This is going to be more coming from just my own perspective here. So let's start off with the HTC One M8. Let's take a look at we'll take a look here at the body. Now, I definitely have to say, having the HTC One M8, it's been a really nice experience as far as hardware has been. It's very comfortable to hold in the hand, and it's sleek, and it's kind of cool to sort of pull out of your pocket and people kind of see your phone, and it's all metal, and it kind of has a nice sort of very slick look to it. And I definitely have to say there. Now, speaking of slick, it can be a little bit slippery sometimes, especially if your hands are smooth, or if you have if it's kind of cold outside and your hands are a little cold, the metal can kind of make it feel like it's a little bit slippery, like it's going to kind of fall out your hand. I definitely have experienced that, and I think the cause of that is because of the unibody design now is wrapped pretty much all around the phone. So on the edges here, it's pretty much all within that unibody design. You don't have a different sort of material or a different sort of plastic or something or ridges maybe there to help give it a bit of a better grip. So when you're kind of holding it, it's kind of can slip out of your hand from time to time. So you might, I did notice that. I would have liked to see some type of like maybe little ridges right here, just to kind of give it a nice sort of grip there. Somewhere where it fits in with the design. I'm not a fan of the fact that you really need a tool to be able to get the SIM card and the micro SD card. Now the SIM card, that's fine, I can understand that, but the micro SD card, that's a little frustrating, especially if you're going to swap that out on a regular basis. Not too many people do. I don't specifically myself, but I don't like the fact that if I do want to change the card on the go, I need to make sure I have like some type of SIM card tool or a paper clip or something to pop that out. Found that a little bit frustrating there. But overall, really do like the design. The display itself, it's 5 inches. It's pretty nice. It's I do prefer a little bit more of the AMOLED displays that are a little bit more color pop to them. But this display so far I do like it. I think it's pretty good. I think most people will enjoy using it and will enjoy viewing content on it here. You just won't get that extra color pop that you normally will get with it. So overall, I do like the design of the One M8 overall, because I really think it's a phone that kind of distinguishes itself a little bit. It stands out kind of from the rest, especially with the all metal design and the display itself at being at 5 inches and sort of the curve that it kind of has on it here. So when I kind of lay it flat, it has a bit of a curve to it. It doesn't rock, which is nice. It doesn't rock too much, you know, sitting down, but overall, I really like the design of the One M8. So let's go a little bit here into the software, which is very interesting. Now the software uses Sense UI. It's a Sense interface from HTC Sense. It's a 6th version of it, so it's 6 Sense is what the joke they made at sort of the event when they debuted the phone. It is running Android 4.4.2 KitKat. That's what it's sort of based on. Now the software itself is very fast, very snappy. That's probably thanks to the quad-core processor that's the side of it. It's a Snapdragon 801, so it's a very snappy experience, very fast experience. I haven't seen too many slowdowns or anything like that. It's like, you know, pretty good. But some of the things I have with Sense that are my issues is sort of the inconsistency of the UI itself. It seems like there's different elements of Sense, older and newer versions, and some things they're not quite sure about. That sort of gives it a bit of an inconsistent experience. You're gonna have to kind of follow me here a little bit as I show it to you. So we have the home screen here, which looks one way, and so does the I can't believe I swiped that way. Yep, there we go. And sort of the way the widget areas and stuff look like. This sort of looks one way, but then you have on the side blink feed, which looks completely different in a way. Then you bring up the app drawer, and that looks different than from the rest of the interface here. And for some reason, I don't know, they still want you to scroll up and down, which who still does that really outside of stock Android? Almost every other manufacturer does the scrolling from left to right when they make their OS, and it just makes a lot more sense when trying to do that. Windows Phone does the left to right, but you slide to right to grab your apps, but you can still put your apps on the home screen, so that's a little bit different. But most Androids, you know, I mean, it still recognizes if you swipe, I think down or left and right or whatever the case may be. I think it got it to recognize a couple times, even when I was going this way, like see, like there. I mean, I'm not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that at all. But then you can see here, let's go back into there. Let's take a look at the calculator. Completely different UI. It's nice, but it has a different color scheme than from the rest of the phone. And then if you go on to the calendar, you can see a different color scheme here as well too. It just kind of bounces all around, even in the contacts in the phone application, which, side note, the phone application is frustrating to use. I would hop into it, but I got some personal contacts I can't show you in there. But it's a very frustrating experience. It isn't consistent. A lot of the times I'm searching for contacts that I know are there, but for some reason I can't find it. A lot of times it tells me that I have 78 contacts, that it wants a link to suggested contacts to sort of group my contacts together. I go into it, then it's not there. I search with people, it's not there. It's just, they need to fix the contacts in the phone dialer very, very soon. They also reverse where send and end are, where end is on this side and send is on here, or answer is on here on the other side. Another frustrating thing about the phone dialer and the contacts, they just need to really seriously change that all around. Very frustrating experience. But I think you're kind of getting the idea here. You go into the multitask, which I really do like this multitasking. I really like the way they do the multitasking within here. Pretty cool, but then again, it's different interface. Once again, very different from what you would see in the rest of the OS. And it kind of just does this all bounce around. There isn't one consistent thing. You go into your notification, looks one way. You bring it here, now that looks another way. This looks more like stock Android. Go into your settings. Bing, bam, again, another sort of different look to it. And it kind of seems that it can't decide. Some of the looks are good, but it seems like it can't decide exactly what look it wants. So I would really like to see HTC sort of wrap everything around into one sort of UI flow to it. It has elements of touch flow 3D, I feel sometimes with it, and that's going back to the Windows Mobile days, and some older version of Sense itself. It just seems like it's sort of mixed around. I do like, though, that you can sort of customize the accents. You know, you can see I have a purple accent here, but you can change the different accent colors for the different sort of icons and switches and stuff. And I think that's pretty cool. And I would really like to see them sort of expand on that feature, sort of similar to how Windows 8 works, where where the sort of the color of the UI is essentially, or the bar when you're in the desktop, can match what the desktop color is. It's sort of, you know, whatever the wallpaper is, it kind of matches a color scheme to it. I really would like to see it do that. That'd be something pretty cool and something very different that you don't see in a lot of other OSs. And it's just, like I said, I would really like to see a little bit more consistency all around. Let's go into the camera app itself. Even the camera UI, you hop into here, looks drastically different than from anything else that's going around, and it looks like they're doing something different here. Just very, very confusing. So I would really like HTC in many ways, like with the One M8 here and future software versions. I would like to see them sort of rebrand Sense, because I think Sense is a kind of negative, really negative name to it, and I think they really need to start looking at rebranding that and giving us a different experience. You know, when you have an iPhone, you know you're getting an iOS experience or Apple experience is what people will call. When you pick up the phone or pick up that tablet, you know you're getting a certain experience from them because it's very consistent throughout. Same thing with Samsung and TouchWiz. TouchWiz is really consistent throughout. Now, none of them are perfect that I'm naming here, but they're much more consistent right now than what I find here in Sense. And you know, when you pick up a Galaxy phone, you're going to get a Galaxy experience. You know, Windows phone, you're going to get a Windows experience. You're going to pick up a Nexus device, you're going to get a stock Android experience. So I really want to see HTC find a way to sort of have something similar to that. And what I think they can accomplish that, and I would love for them to kind of take the ideas they have right now, clean it up, use some of the UI elements, do some of the color scheming, the accents. I really like those things, kind of tie that all together in one unified thing and have it kind of flow, because it does flow around, and that's pretty much a good name for it. It's going to call it like Flow UI or something, HTC Flow. It's a good name, and you know, having the flow experience, and it takes a little bit back from the touch flow days as well too, so taking that name and rebranding it, so just calling it Flow UI. I really like to see them do something like that, just to get a better overall software experience. So when somebody picks up an HTC device, they know they're getting an HTC Flow experience. I think you kind of get what I'm meaning there. All right, so after that little rant there, let's hop back in here. One of the cool things I really did get used to doing is double tapping the phone to turn it on, or the lock button, which is here at the top. I don't understand why the power button's at the top of any phone anymore. It just doesn't make any sense. But you can swipe, automatically unlock as well too, which is pretty cool. I do like having that available. And some of the gestures are cool, but I like how they added the gestures in a way that it's practical and doesn't feel like you're kind of shoehorning it in. It's just kind of natural within it. Kind of has that flow. There's that term again. Kind of has a nice flow to it, and I think that's something HTC should continue to do and continue to add it in the subtle way that they kind of did here with the UI. Now let's take a look at something I think is really cool, and that is Boom Sound. Boom Sound is these two front speakers right here, which are absolutely amazing. There is just nothing that rivals this. Let's go into some of our own videos here at BWOne.com. Hopefully I opened it up. All right, acting like I opened it up for the first time, or checking out my Chromecast. But let's actually go to our uploads here, and let's do one of these videos here and just hear the audio. As soon as this ad kind of skips away here, we'll get to that, but you're gonna realize Boom Sound is amazing. It's from sort of the rebirth from the Beats Audio days on HTC One. The One M8 increases it by about 25%, and just take a listen. I mean, just amazing sound. BWOne here from BWOne, and in this video I want to talk about the Oculus Rift. So we were at PAX East 2014 and we finally got the chance to try out the Oculus Rift, and you can't beat that in terms of just audio on speakers. If you're using external speakers, there's just nothing out there, and if that is very important to you, the One M8 is the best out there, period. I don't really have to spend a whole lot of time on that. But Boom Sound does work with headphones when you plug them in. It does work through different services. I was using it a lot with Google Music. Sounds very, very good. Does add some nice elements without making it too over bassy. I do notice that. Pretty good there. Doesn't work over Bluetooth, so if you're using Bluetooth devices, the Boom Sound's not going to work over on that. I like to see them find a way to figure out how to do that, but right now that's not going to be available. So that's Boom Sound. You can see, I think I talked about the display a little bit. 5.5 inch display, not 5.1, 5-inch display. Looks nice, looks pretty good overall, and battery life very solid. Very good. As a power user, I'm able to get through a day without needing to charge it. I've actually forgotten to sort of plug it in overnight, and I found that the charging lasts, even through the night. So it's nice that I have it at 25% or something like that, and then I forget to charge it, and then I wake up the next morning, it's only dropped to maybe 3 or 4% overnight. Really cool, really good. I like having those things because that means it has really good standby time, and then it's nice to know that, at least I have some battery life to get me through the morning until I need to charge it and be able to sort of use my phone that way. Really cool, really good idea. Really great things from HTC. The extreme power saving mode isn't available on here yet, and I really already like the battery life on here. So very good HTC, and very good making the battery life work on here. I know, kind of rambling there a little bit, but I'm just overjoyed with how good the battery life is on this Android device, so, as far as my usage is concerned. So another thing I want to look at here is the duo camera. That's these two cameras here. There's one camera here on the back, that's your ultra megapixel camera, you can see right there, and then on here is another camera that sort of collects a little bit more information. They call it sort of depth of view, a few other different specific things to it to help make the photo a little bit better. In hindsight, it's okay. It doesn't work the greatest, I feel. Actually, let's go back into the camera app here. It doesn't look the greatest, I feel. It really, like, if you're gonna take pictures on the device, it's, take pictures and view them on the device itself, it's gonna be very good for that. Let's actually bring something in here. Let's bring this green cup or something to sort of kind of bring in here to sort of focus on here a little bit. It does a decent job. Now, I was kind of underwhelmed with the camera until I took a photo in low light conditions, and this is when I was at a party with some friends, and I'm gonna show you this photo here, and the photo came out very, very good. You can see us very clearly, the details are very good on it, and everybody liked the photo when I sent it to everyone, and I was really happy about how that came out. So that made me feel a little bit better about the camera overall with it. It's not gonna replace a Nokia Lumia 1020 or anything, but it's kind of good to see the low light. All right, something's gonna come good out of that. Now, coming back here to the camera itself, the camera UI is okay. It's nice that it's clear. You get more of the viewfinder, but I don't like tapping right over here and getting this menu, and it feels like it's just kind of dumped there a little bit, and I would like to see it in a bit of a different organized way here. I'm not really a fan of how this is laid out, because once I hit these buttons here, then I have to go up to here. It just kind of feels like I'm really navigating, and you're supposed to some of it goes from side to side. Like here, you're supposed to, in this menu, you're supposed to drag, but here you don't drag. It's just weird. Then you go into the settings, and this pops up, and this is sort of a jumbled mess of a lot of different things and options to sort of choose from, which was a little bit more organized. And then if you want to switch between things, so if you want to go to video, Zoe camera, which I didn't really use a whole lot of this. This is a kind of a cool feature. So it allows you to record a snippet of someone and take images from that snippet and do some fun and interesting things that show up in the gallery. But the frustrating thing is here, okay, I have this set. Let's say I go ahead and go home and I open up some different applications and go through some different things here, and then all of a sudden I want to go back to the camera. Oh, I want to take a quick shot. It's still in Zoe mode. It doesn't go back to the default settings, which is a little frustrating to say the least there with that. I was trying to find a way to make that always go back to default, but for whatever reason, there's no real feature I was able to find to make it always go back to default camera settings. So a little disappointing there with that. Let's actually head into the gallery itself to kind of show you a little bit of what the gallery does. It's pretty cool. Let me see. You have to use their gallery here. All right, we can bring that cup out of the shot there. All right. So what it does, in a lot of ways, it'll sort of organize your photos and make some cool collages based upon dates, times, locations, all sorts of things like that. So if you have a collection of photos, it kind of makes a little funny preview of it. Let's see if we can get one that's good here. And it'll sort of make a little montage, a little preview video you can see there right at the top. Pretty cool. It's nice element. It's not something I use a lot heavily, but it's nice to see that it's there. But all right, so that's pretty much the main things, and I think I've pretty much gone overall how I feel about the HTC One M8. So if you asked me the question today, would I recommend the One M8? Yes, I would. I would recommend it to a lot of power users out there, because I think it's a good phone that has a good size to it if you're not wanting something big on sort of the phablet side, but you still want to have some good power. Now, there are some caveats with it. Like I said, the grip can be a little finicky at times. It can feel a little slippery, and the UI has some little inconsistencies to it. And the camera isn't the greatest. It's still good, but not the greatest out there. But overall, it's still a pretty good experience, a pretty good thing from HTC that I really want to see them continue to improve and continue to evolve it. I think they have something here, but I think they just need to take it just a little bit further there. So for more about sort of my thoughts on my 2 weeks with the HTC One M8, be sure to head over to BWOne.com. We have a full written write-up and article with some things I didn't mention in this video that you can check out there, because it definitely, if you want to know some more information about how I use the HTC One M8 for the last couple of weeks here. Now, that being said, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page here. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that like button. It definitely helps us out. Share, comment, let me know what you think on it. Like I said, let's have a discussion about the HTC One M8, see how my usage, see what you think about what I said here in this video. We'd be greatly appreciated. Also, be sure to check out Kenny's video as well too that we have up, which is a full standard One M8 review, and all our other videos as well too. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Google+, Twitter, all the social networks. Those links are in the description. And always remember to live your tech world in high definition. Thanks for watching.